It's time for the X and Y Show with your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y Show.
Oh yeah. Sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y Show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
Greetings, and greetings. Welcome to the X and Y Show, and I'm your host, Roosevelt, and this is the last show of the month. We made it through 1 month. Hope you enjoyed the array of shows that I have available on my podcast. And you can always find my podcast on my website, www.thexyshow.com. Excuse me. That's www.thexyshow.com. Once you get there, to my website, you can listen to various outlets that's more convenient to you. iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, whatever. Oh, you can listen on the Spreaker network as well, or stream it straight from my website. So, also, you can follow me on all my social media, my Tumblr, my Twitter, Facebook, and so forth. So everything is on my website, www.thexyshow.com. You can find everything there, past episodes, upcoming episodes, etc. Everything is on my website, including if you're a true XYer, you want to buy a t-shirt and show your love to me and the show, feel free. There's also a shop link on my site, so you can have various shirts that's have my logo, and some things have other sayings on it that's dealing with the show as well. So take a visit to my website, be a true X and Y, and let's grow together on this X and Y journey. Hope you're having a great Friday / Saturday morning. Getting ready for everybody's getting ready for the 4th of July weekend. Hope you're not driving and drinking, or drinking and driving, whatever you want to say. Hope you're at home getting drunk in the privacy of your home. And I hope you leave the fireworks to the professionals. A lot of people get hurt every year. Last year, a lot of people got hurt, including professional football players, and losing limbs and fingers. So be careful out there. Leave it to the professionals. Go somewhere, watch fireworks, come home, get drunk, and then have sex and listen to the X and Y Show. That's what you should be focused on during this 4th of July weekend. That's a complete weekend. You go watch fireworks, eat a little barbecue, come back, drink some more, get naked, listen to the X and Y Show. That's all you should do for the weekend. Anyway, I hope everyone has a good holiday out there, and safe. And again, do not drink and drive in this holiday, because it's just not worth it. With that being said, we're going to get right on tonight's episode. The last episode of this segment, the last episode of the month. It's a good episode, one that's very dear to me. It's talking about basically, it's dealing with father and strong father figure in the family. And I think that has deteriorated over the years. I think that's the problems that we're having in today's world. A lot of it stems from poor family structure. Either no father been in a home, or when the father is in a home, he's weak. And I'm not saying that if a father is not in the home, I'm not saying that it's impossible for the family to be complete. That's not what I'm saying at all. There's a lot of families out there without fathers that turn out okay, and that's perfectly fine. But I think that every family that didn't have that father would agree that it would have been a lot easier with him around and being a positive influence. But in saying that, tonight's episode is, are men still wearing the pants in today's marriages? Again, are men still wearing the pants in today's marriages? Now, I ask that question because I believe that for the most part, a lot of men are simply not wearing the pants in today's marriages. Like I said before, I think that the problems stem from poor family structure today. There's a lot of badass kids running around and badass adults running around who were kids and grew up to become badass adults because they didn't have a father figure. If their mother and father split up, they still didn't have a father figure, or they didn't have a father in the house, or if they had a father in the house, he was weak. And I think that marriages of the day have lost their place. Too many men have surrendered their role of being leader. Too many men have surrendered their role in being leader and taken the submissive role under their wives, which is bullshit, because you need a wife. Well, I'm not saying that a wife should just cook and walk around butt naked all day. That's not what I'm saying. Even though that was, I'm not saying that. So I don't want you women out there to be sending me stuff talking about on a male show when it's on. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that too many men have surrendered their role as being leader. They say, honey, you run it. We're here, we're a team, but you take control and you handle everything, and I'm fine with that. And that's the problem that I think a lot of men have done. They've taken a back seat to their wives. So essentially, the wives are the dominant leader of the family. The wives are the disciplinarian of the family. The wives are the financial gurus of the family. The wives do everything. It's almost like they're the husband. They have the balls, and some husbands are walking around with the pussies. And it shouldn't be that way. That's not how it was designed. It was designed for the men to be in charge. The men are the leaders of the family, not the women. The women, there's some strong women out there, but they weren't built for that. They weren't built to be the leaders of the family, the headstone of the family. The husband was built for that. The man was built for that. And I think that a lot of families have lost sight of the simple fact. That's why we have so many badass kids running around who turn up to be badass adults who turn up to be badass adults committing crimes. I think it stems from that. I'm not saying everything stems from that. And I'm not saying that every household without a father turns out to be fucked up. I'm not saying that. However, what I am saying, every house with a father, a strong father, a positive father, I'm not talking about a knucklehead, a strong, positive father, a provider, a good leader, a good husband, the chances statistically rise substantially of the family members being successful, the kids and so forth, being positive influences on society. If you have that strong family structure, I'm not saying that you still can't turn out to be fucked up. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying your chances of turning out to be okay is greater than those family structures without the father or a weak father. Now, like I said before, one of the main reasons that I think the world is having so many problems is the absence of fathers. Either no father in the household, or if there is a father in the household, they act like bitches. And really, to me, if a father's in the household who acts like a bitch, then there's really no reason for him to be there. I mean, damn, if you're going to let the woman run everything, just leave. Because you're not fulfilling your role. You're not living up to your potential. You're not being the leader of the family. There are bitches that allow their wives to be the dominant force of the marriage, the dominant force of the household, the primary disciplinarian. That's bullshit. If you're going to be a bitch, what is your purpose? And I think a lot of men have lost sight of that. And some women, I'm not blaming women, because some women have actually figured it out that, look, my husband is a bitch. So I have to take the leadership role, or this family going to really be fucked up. And I think that's sad, because it's a cycle. 9 times out of 10, the reason why those men are acting like bitches is because their dads were bitches. And that's all they know. And thus the cycle continues. Their father act like bitches, so that's why they act like bitches. So your son, your son that you have together is going to probably grow up to be a bitch and be submissive to his wife and let her run everything. You have to stop the cycle of weakness. And I think that's what is the main problem of today's society. It starts with the family. There's no father in the household, no father presence in the household. Or if there's a father in the household who acts like a bitch and submissive to his wife and surrender his role to her, which is really almost worse than him not being there, then that's the problem. It's starting at home. How many times have you heard a guy, I've heard this a lot of times from guys that I know, and some of them are going to say, oh, this motherfucker talking about me. And I want to, hey, I'm not talking about no one specifically. I'm just saying that these are some of the things I've heard over the years. So anyone who have, heard, hear what I'm about to say, don't think I'm talking about you. I'm not being specific. I'm not specifically talking about anyone that I know. I'm just saying the things I heard over the years. How many times have you heard a guy say, oh, my wife handles the bills. My wife handles the bills. I don't have anything to do with the bills. I give her, I work, I give her the check, and she handles everything. I don't deal with it. What kind of shit is that? My wife handles all the concerns of the house. She pays the bills. She handles all the repairs. I just, hey, I do my thing. I provide, and that's it. I don't. My wife, if it needs repair, she handles all of that. I don't have time for that. How many times have you heard a man say, "What will your mother say when she sees this?" What kind of shit is that? That sounds like a bitch. What will your mother say when she sees this? Hey, you know better than that. Ask your mother if it's okay. You see, the cycle continues because these young men, your sons, are growing up to be bitches because your husband is acting like a bitch. That's what they see. That's all they see. They don't see a strong family man in the household. They don't see a strong father figure in the household. They don't see a man leading the household. They see a man being submissive to his wife. They see a man being submissive to mommy. And they grow up and thinking that shit is okay. And it's not okay. We have to stop the cycle. It starts at the home. We need a strong family structure back in today's society. We need a strong father. If the father can't be there, then we need a father figure, a strong father figure. If the father is there, fathers, stop acting like bitches. Stop being submissive to your wives and surrendering the leader role to a woman. That's not the way it was designed to be. Women were not designed to lead the family. I know a lot of women out there are frowning and all that shit, but go ahead and frown because that's what I believe, and that's the way it is. Women were not built to be the leaders of the family. That's the man's job. But again, like I say in defense of the women, some women have no choice. They realize that their men, the men that they're married to, are bitches. So if they don't take reins and take control of the household, pay the bills, be the disciplinarian, the primary disciplinarian, and beating ass and tearing on some ass when need to, then the household go be really fucked up. So they do what they have to do so their family would be okay. Their family would be civilized. So I'm not blaming the women. I'm blaming the men. Be a man. Be a leader of your family. Stop being a bitch. So your little boys grow up to be bitches. Your little girls who's had no strong father figure in their lives, or see their father acting like a little bitch in the household, surrendering the leadership to their mother. And then what happened? They grow up not knowing what a real man should be or a real man looks like, so they fall for any knucklehead that comes along and all his bullshit and okie doke with it. So it affects the boys and the girls who grows up to be men and women. Now, today I seen a post from one of my friends, one of my childhood friends, someone that I've known since I was a little boy. Her name was Betty Lawrence. She posted a little short paragraph talking about the neighborhood that we grew up in. She grew up across the street from me, diagonally across the street. And when I read her insert, it really reminded me of the old days in that neighborhood. It was the perfect neighborhood to grow up in. And as a kid, I didn't realize how blessed I was until I've gotten older and see that, really how blessed we were to grow up in a setting such as that. But in those days, the fathers ran shit. The fathers were the true leaders of their families. In my neighborhood, I can't think of one weak father on my street. Or anybody, daddy, that I knew, in the neighborhood or knew at school or church. I'm just, I want to just name a few of these true men that had influence on my life. They were great examples, great father figures, and, just great role models on how a strong man should be, how a man should be a leader to his family, be the primary disciplinarian of his family, just everything. He's the king. These men were that. Starting off with my father, Roosevelt. Now I'm going to go down the street. This is what kind of neighborhood I grew up in, with real fathers. Starting with my father, Roosevelt. Mr. Washington. I'm talking about the days where you knew everyone on the street. Half of you don't know your next door neighbor, hardly, let alone people down the street and the next block over and all of that. Forget that. You barely know your next door neighbor. You say hi and bye to them, when you're going in the house. But in my neighborhood, we had real fathers, real men. We didn't have bitches. We didn't have men that were submissive to their wives. We had men who were men, who led their families. Starting off with my father, Roosevelt. Next door neighbor, Mr. Washington. Mr. Williams. Mr. Davis. Mr. Smith. Going to the other side, Mr. Tate. Mr. Brown. Mr. McDuffie. Mr. Epps. Mr. Lawrence. Mr. Coleman. Going out to the end of the corner, Mr. Snow. The other side of the corner, Mr. Dorsey. Other side of First Street, Mr. Paramore. Across the street from him, Mr. Clark. Across the street from them, Mr. Gage. Across the street from them, Mr. Cooper. Next door to Mr. Cooper, Mr. Walker. Round the corner from them, Mr. McGuire. You see what I'm getting at? These were men. These were men that had strong influence on me as a boy. I remember these men well. Down the street, down the corner, Mr. Chadwick, Mr. Ronald Smith, Mr. Dewey Anderson. Who else? Mr. Reese. I'm just naming on the top of my head. These Mr. Shotwell, Mr. Willis, Mr. Tisdale, Mr. Bryant, Mr. Harris, Mr. Grant, Mr. Lee, Mr. Ferguson. I'm just thinking of, guys who were real men. And I'm missing a whole lot of them, but I can't name all of them. I can't name the whole neighborhood. Should I be here all night? But, I'm missing a whole lot. I'm just naming a few. And as you see, these are the people that I knew in my neighborhood, my street, the street over, street down the street, over across. These were men who led their families, who were examples to me. A lot of them didn't know that they were examples to me. They didn't know I was watching them, you know. But I was watching them. And I remember what kind of examples that they illustrated to me, how to be a man. And, you know, it started off with my father. And then the men external of the home kind of took up from that when my father couldn't be around. You know, he was at work, then, you know, everybody went at work at the same time. I would see somebody and, you know, they would see me and I would be doing something. Hey, boy, what you doing? you know, they were men. Real men, real fathers, real leaders of the family. They were men who demanded respect. They were men who were called daddy. They were men who were called Mr. Not their first names like these clowns and these little kids do today. They were called Mr. They demanded respect and they earned the respect that they got. And I appreciate them. I appreciate my father, what he did. And I appreciate the fathers of my neighborhood, what they did. They helped me be the man that I am today. Because they were true examples of how a man should be. They were true leaders. They were true fathers. They were the kings. They were the disciplinarians. They were the leaders, not their wives. Now, I'm not saying that their wives were weak. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. It was some of the strongest women I know. No, I'm not saying that. But they were number one. They were the leaders of the family, not their wives. That's the way it should be. That's the way it was designed to be. Anyway, I want to take a little break. Man, this conversation tonight kind of hitting home a little bit, bringing back some memories. But I hope you're enjoying the show. You know, again, tonight's topic is, are men still wearing the pants in today's marriages? And my answer is no. I don't believe they are. And I think that's the main problem of what's going on in society. You got too many men that is surrendering their leader roles to their wives, to women. And some women just simply taking it, because if they don't take it, then the family be in chaos. But that's the problem. It starts at the home. If you have a weak home structure and get no home training or proper teachings on how to be a man, or proper teachings on how to be a young lady, and how to a man, being taught by a leader of the family on how a man should respect you, and just learning from the way your father is in the household, being the leader. Something needs to be fixed, father takes care of it. Either father fixes it or he gets somebody to fix it. When it comes to the finances, father pays the bills, or at least assists his wife in paying the bills. Don't just give her your damn check. He makes the decisions with his wife, not, ask your mother, ask your mama. What kind of shit is that? We have bitches raising little bitches. That's what it is. Bitches raising little boys in training to be bitches. That's what happened. That's what's happening. And the girls are following suit as well. They see they're getting raised by these soft guys who are surrendering their leader roles to a woman, so they grow up falling for every damn trick in the book. They don't know what a strong man is. They don't know how to demand respect. They don't know a strong man. Anyway, I'm going to take a little break. And when I return, I'm going to give some alternatives on you soft men out there, you bitches, that you can do to take control of your family, to be the leader of your family. Stop being a bitch. Be a true example of how a man should be, on how a leader of a family should be. You're listening to the X and Y Show. I'm your host, Roosevelt, and I will return in about 4.5.
Welcome back to the X and Y Show. Hope you're enjoying tonight's episode. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Google, Instagram, and Tumblr. Well, alright. Back to our real cute teddy bear of a host, Roosevelt.
And sorry about that delay. I don't know what happened. Welcome back to the X and Y Show. I'm your host, Roosevelt. And tonight we are talking about are men still wearing the pants in today's marriages? And the answer to that question is absolutely no, in my opinion. I think that most men, not all men, there's still some men out there who are of the old ways, who are the leaders and the kings of the family, and understand that they are the king, and their wives understand that he is the king, she is the queen. She's number two. There are still some families out there of the old ways. But a lot of the families out there, the men are number two. The men are the queens. They are the bitches. They act like bitches. And I'm not saying that women are bitches, but the men are acting like little punks because they are surrendering their leader roles to their wives. They're letting their wives be the leaders of the family when that's their job. And it's sad because the overall family structure suffers. Because you have these young boys and these young girls who have no blueprint to go by. They have no example to go by. All they see is a father in the household who is submissive to mommy, who lets mommy handles all of the finances, who lets mommy handles all of the repairs, who lets mommy whip ass when need be. Mommy is everything. What is daddy there for? He's just a figurehead. He just eating and shitting. That's all he doing. That's all daddy does is eat and shit. He does nothing. Mommy does everything. That's what they see. And they grow up, and the man grows up and don't know and isn't taught how a man should be, which is a leader of the family, the provider of the family, the number one of the family, the king. And his wife should be number two. But it's not the kid's fault. They grow up in that bullshit and turn out to be fucked up when they get older, and thus the cycle continues. And they raise their family the same way. Hey, I was taught, hey, my dad let my mom handle everything. My wife is going to do it too. That's the way my dad did it. And the cycle continues. And that's the problem of today's family. Weak families. Because we have all these men who are being submissive to their wives. Now, my solution to that, men, and you know who you are. And women, if you're listening to this with your husband, who's a bitch. I call you a bitch. Yeah. You are a bitch if you be submissive to your wife and surrender your leader role to a woman. You are a bitch, essentially. So I'm going to help you out. And you know who you are. Women, you know who your husbands are who are bitches. Stop being a bitch. Stop being a bitch. Make some decisions in your household. Don't let the woman make all the damn decisions. Now, I realize that sometimes you can't be there and she can't be there. I understand that. But you know what I'm talking about. When you let the woman just make all of the damn decisions. It's supposed to be 50-50. It's supposed to be a partnership. She's supposed to help you make decisions. You're supposed to help her make decisions when you two work together. It's a better thing. You should just hand all over the damn power to her. No, here, you handle that. I'm going to sleep. You handle that. That's bullshit. Come on, man. Stop being a little bitch. Make some decisions in your household. Be the primary disciplinarian in your house. Or at least help out with it. And I say that because in my household, both parents whipped my ass. My mother was quite well at it. I know some of you people are going, oh my God, he got beat. Yes, I did. Got my ass whooped. Extension cords, switches. Oh, switches. Oh my goodness. I read getting off the subject a little bit. There's a grandmother who went to jail the other day for taking a switch off a tree and beating her granddaughter. I thought about if that would have happened back when I was a kid, my mom would have stayed in jail. We had I never forget that damn paper tree in the yard, and it was the perfect tree for switches. I mean, if you know what a paper tree is, it was perfect for switches. And I know my mom, when she get fed up and, with the bullshit, and I know she walk out the door and going towards that paper tree, I know it's time to straighten up. Well, no time out. Well, no standing in the corner. It was a switch. But my parents had an array of different tools. Like I said, extension cord, switches, belts, of course. And my dad was an expert slapper. He was, I think he had a PhD in slapping. Because he would always catch me when I wasn't expecting it. And he would slap the spit out of my mouth. He would do it, when he was too tired and he didn't feel like, spanking me. So he would just slap the shit out of me. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking that's cruel, but it wasn't cruel. Because, believe me, whatever I did, I thought about it and I didn't do it no more. Because I respected my father, I respected my parents. They both had roles of being the disciplinarians of the family. And that's what a man should be. When I grew up, it was like your mom saying, wait till I tell my dad. Those were powerful words. Wait till I tell your daddy. Those words, you didn't want to hear those words. You wait till your dad to get home. Wait till he get home. You didn't want to hear those words. Now those words don't mean shit. I don't hear nobody getting threatened. Maybe it's just me. When the last time have you heard, all the people that's listening to this, when the last time have you heard, wait till your daddy get home. Wait till your father get home. Now I'm not saying you haven't heard it before, but it's not, you hear it every once in a blue moon. It's not the norm. Because fathers don't have power anymore. A lot of them have surrendered their power. You tell daddy, so what? Shit. That wasn't the case when I was coming up. Because I knew for a fact that my dad was a powerful disciplinarian. And so was my mother. But he didn't surrender the disciplinary duties solely to my mother, like a lot of what these men are doing today. So, man, be either the primary disciplinarian of your house or at least help out with it. At least work with your wife when it comes to the finances. Don't let your wife pay all the bills. Don't let her take care of all the finances. First of all, that's stupid because you don't know what's going on in the house as far as your money. You don't know how much money you got in the house. You don't know if you buy this, how much it's going to set you back. That's just stupid. It really is. Besides being a bitch, you're a stupid bitch because it's just dumb. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't trust your wife. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that you should it's your house. It's your family. You should have a say-so, or at least know the condition of your family's finances. That's just damn common sense. So at least help your wife out with the finances. Just don't give her the damn check. Here, honey. Here you go. Handle it. Stop doing that. Another thing, show your son how to be a provider and raise his kids. I'm going to say that again. Show your son, be an example to your son, be a leader, and show him how to be a provider and raise his kids. Be an example to your daughter as the kind of man she should look for. You want your daughter to be with someone strong, right? You want your daughter to be with a good man, right? You want your daughter to be with a provider, a leader, right? You don't want your daughter to be with a submissive bitch. I would hope you don't. So be an example to your daughter. Be the kind of man that you want her to look for when she's ready to find a husband. Teach your son how to respect a woman, how to respect a good woman. Because he's going to need a good woman in a family. I think, a lot of times men take women for granted. That's just the way it is. You have to teach those sons to respect women, not to take them for granted. That's what being a good leader is about. Respecting his wife, respecting the woman that bore him children. So, if you're doing this, respecting that woman, you're being the ultimate example to your son on how to treat a woman, and also your daughter on how a woman should be treated. You should teach your daughter how to demand respect from a man. Be a leader. Be a leader. Be a man. Be a man. Stop being a submissive bitch. Stop turning your powers over to your wife and being submissive to her and taking a step back to your leadership that you should have and surrendering all to your wife. Stop being the woman of the house. Be the man of the house. Be a man of the family. Be a leader. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I guess, I don't know. This subject is very, very touchy. A lot of times circumstances is different for different people. But I think overall, if the men of the world don't forget their roles, their true roles, or stop forgetting their true roles, then I think the family would be better off. I think children would be better off. I think adolescents would be better off. I think the adults would be better off. Because it's a cycle. If it starts young, and those children seeing the family structure being weak and the man being weak and surrendering all of his leadership roles to the wife, to their mommy, that's a cycle. Because when they grow up, it's going to be the same shit. Oh, well, my daddy did it, so, it's okay. I'm going to let my wife do it. Oh, yeah, my daddy, he was submissive to me, so I'm going to run my house. I mean, that's the way I was brought up. Stop the cycle, men. Stop being submissive to your wives. Stop taking a second seat to your wives. You are the king. You are number one. You are the leader. You are the man. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. Are men still wearing the pants in today's marriages? And I say no, but I would hope that after listening to this show, I would hope that that changed. I just would hope that you listen to the sound of my voice. Because I think that I really believe that a weak family structure stems from a weak family. A weak family structure and the problems of today's society stems from a family being weak. And a family being weak is primarily due to either the absence of a father, which, again, I'm not saying that because there's no father present that means the family is weak. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that if the man is there and he's acting like the woman of the house, then that's a problem too. That's a problem that has to stop. And that's a problem that has to end if the family is to become strong again. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. And again, from here on out, the X and Y Show will be a weekly broadcast. So I will see you next Friday. The times we will post it on the Spreaker network. I haven't decided yet what time that it will be broadcast every week, but it will be either next Friday or /Saturday. I haven't decided yet, but take a look on the Spreaker network, or you can go on my website, www.thexyshow.com, and you can also find out the times there. And again, you can listen to the show through various outlets that's most convenient to you, on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, so whatever, or you can listen straight from my website. So, you can also follow me on all of my social networks, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and so forth. So everything's on my website. Again, www.thexyshow.com. Feel free to visit me anytime, leave comments, constructive criticism, anything you want to say to me, and I will definitely take it to heart. With that said, I will see you next week. And again, there can be no love without X and Y. Good night.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.